Well, hello. Okay. I have not been here for a while. I am very out of practice with all of this, but I'm here right now. So, without further ado, let's get into it. Whoa, as I fall off my chair. Just kidding. Second start. Here we go. Hey guys, and welcome back to the Desert Borealis YouTube channel. My name's Tasha, and I am the wife, mother, dyer, designer, and knitter behind all things Desert Borealis. And today is another episode of my podcast, and it's been, like I said, a while. Let me just look up here because I have no idea what episode number this is. I think I recorded about a month ago, 3 weeks ago. Awesome. Okay, so today is episode 14. It's been some 3 weeks. So let's get into it with finished objects. And guys, I am so excited because I can finally hold this in front of you and say it is finished. I finished my husband's sweater. Arms are all attached, and he has loved this and has been wearing it nonstop. This is the color. This is all in Cascade 220 fingering superwash, and this, it's a fingering weight sweater. This has been on my needles for 2 years and 2 months, and it is finally done. And I have a lot of yarn left over from it. So am I maybe thinking about casting on a second sweater for him? Yes. Am I going to do it differently? Yes again. This sweater was, as you can see, a drop sleeve sweater, and it was worked from the bottom up, had to attach the sleeves, which gave me quite a bit of headache. So I am thinking with going into it again, I am probably going to be doing a top-down raglan sweater for him. So yeah, we will see if that gets cast on, because I did weigh this sweater and it weighs 635 grams, and I have over 770 grams of yarn left, because some of these, well, one of these colors in particular, this blue color right here, this was the only time it was used in the sweater. So I have quite a bit of that one left over. Some of the more warm colors, like the azalea pink and the pumpkin, I don't have very much of that. So it will probably end up in the sleeves of the second one, probably more toward the cuff area, since I want to use it up, but I don't have a lot of it. And I'm not into the one sleeve looks different than the other sleeve style. If you can handle that, great. I can't. It needs to be matchy-matchy if I'm going to do this. And so we will see. I will not be basing it. I will not have a stripe reference for the second sweater. This sweater, I did have a photo reference. Mick Aston from Time Team would wear striped sweaters like this all the time, and so I used one of his sweaters to replicate the striping sequence in this. Going into the next one, because I do have more of some than the other, I'm just going to be drawn out of a hat. But that's if I cast it on, because this took 2 years. We will see. But so glad to have that off of my needles. And I also have 2 other finished objects to share with you. A little bit of noise, but I believe you guys saw these last time I recorded. It is my Breaking All the Jewels socks, Freckled Whimsy, last year Yarn of the Month Club. And this is a pattern that I designed, and I just love how this ended up looking in a self-striping sock. I did go, whenever there was So this is based on, obviously, pearls and knits, and sometimes there's rows, as you can see right here. Sometimes there's rows that have more knits than pearls. So if there was a color change where there would be a row with more pearls in it, then I would just knit every stitch in the round. That way we wouldn't get like the pearl blips in messing up kind of the stripe sequence. I know that there was, okay, so like right here, it changed right at the end right there. So I was trying to avoid these pearl blips right there, but overall it worked. So I am very happy with these. These are a gift and it's for my daughter, and she's just sitting like right up there, but she doesn't know that I knit these for her, so shh. Also, the next pair I'm showing you is also a gift for her, so shh. I don't think you guys ever saw these. These are just a plain pair of vanilla socks. Do I have an easy? Here. Let's rewind and do this properly. Going to take, here we go. Okay, get it all pretty. There we go. See, properness. And I love my breaking all the jewels pattern because I love the zigzags, the like stepping down zigzags. You can do both socks with zigzags going the same direction, or you can do what I did and have zigzags going in opposite directions. And the pattern includes instructions for both ways, obviously. But here's the second sock. Boop, boop, boop. I love them. Okay, now I have been trying to make more of an effort of using up yarn that maybe I'm questionable about whether or not I'm going to like it. It looks great. You guys know what I'm talking about, like those hand-dyed yarns that look great in the skein, but then when you knit them up, you're like, I don't know. I don't know how it's gonna look. I don't know how it's gonna turn out. This was what this yarn is for me. This main color right here is what I dyed up myself, and I kind of called it Neapolitan ice cream. I did not know this, but apparently original Neapolitan ice cream had vanilla, chocolate, strawberry, and pistachio. There we go. We've got the vanilla and the chocolate and the strawberry and the pistachio. And well, this is okay to me. It's not my favorite. And yeah, I'm glad that I knit these up because now this yarn, the remaining of it, is in my bag for my northeasterly blanket, and I think it'll look really great in there. It'll be a great memory. Moving forward, however, I do not think I will be dyeing up any more skeins the same way I did this colorway because I'm just not a fan of it. And then the cuff and the heel are in Cascade Heritage, and I believe the color is Bark. It's just a super, super rich dark brown. For these socks, 72 stitches, knit 2, purl 2, rib for 10 inches, then 15, no, for 10 inches, please, that is not 10 inches, 10 rows, 15 rows for the leg, slip stitch, heel flap gusset, and then 50 rows before I did my toe decreases. And there's the other one. So those are my 3 finished objects. have I been casting on a lot of stuff? Yes. Yes, I have. But before we get to those, I'm going to show you progress that I've made on my Nordlig cardigan. Okay. So, my Nordlig cardigan, oh yeah, that fell. My Nordlig cardigan, I am loving this. I am using tweed sport, you know what, let me dig in here. Here we go. This is one of them, Expression Fiber Arts, and we are looking at Twisted Tweed Sport, 42% merino wool, 43% superwash merino wool, 15% dongle, and this is considered a sport weight. Are we going to, no, we're not. Okay, it's not going to. This is one of the ball bands, and I am loving it. I am loving it so much. Last time I recorded and checked in with you guys, I was right here where this was. Let me just give you a view. So I'm trying to use up stash, and so if you guys haven't heard the story, I bought this yarn originally to participate in a blanket cowl. Okay, let me try and fix that. Did that work at all? Okay, there. Now I can move around a little bit more. So I got this yarn to do a blanket cowl, never cast on the blanket, and I made it 3 months into buying the yarn for the cowl. 4 months? I don't know. I made some months before I realized I'm just not going to knit a blanket, and I don't really like the mystery aspect of it, so need to remember that going into the future. But I bought the yarn and I decided to, you know, try to just knit for my stash, and so I've been holding 2 strands double because I bought 2 skeins of each. And so I have held one color and then marled in the next color, both colors together, marled, made it up, and then look at this. I love this part. Yes, I finished one sleeve. So this color is Nougat, and oh boy. One of them is called Take Chances. I don't know which one that is. Let's see if I can pull another one out. One of them is called Stardew. Okay, and then Nougat. Let's see if I'm lucky enough to find the other. Let's see what we got here. Another Nougat, okay. Aleutian. Okay, so I think that's all 4 colors. So we have this dark, and then a little bit lighter. This one has a little bit of mint running through it, and then this one was next, and it has a little bit more mint to it. Then a little bit more white, and the mint's a little more muted, and then the Nougat. So I'm not sure, aside from the Nougat, which one is which, but again, those colors are Aleutian, Take Chances, Stardew, and Nougat. Those are the colors I am using for this. So I finished one sleeve, hello, and started on the next one. This is something that I am knitting with my daughter, and she actually is using the Skein and the Stitch 2024 Advent when it was Alice in Wonderland. And what she is doing, maybe I'll try and get a picture of it if she's okay with that, but what she is doing with it is she's doing Bear and then one of the colors, and then bear, and then one of the colors. And so she has one sleeve done as well, and her sleeve is the first 12 days, and then the second sleeve will be the next 12 days. It's looking so good. But yeah, this is my Nordlig cardigan, and I'm in love just with all of the beautiful marling. I can't wait to get this done, and I'm actually hoping to get this done before March when I start going in person to campus for my classes, but we'll see, because let me tell you, this term it's been brutal. Okay, so that's my Nordlig, and now for a couple of things that you guys have not seen yet, and I'm excited for them. So I am working on a new design, and the name is pending, but right now my husband likes to call this Care Bear Prison. And I am using Emma's yarn in the colorway Lucky Charm, and then I dyed up this pink to kind of represent Cheer Bear. So yes, I did when I dyed this, I did have Care Bears on the mind, and then I wanted something a little Valentine-y, and this is just hitting the spot, man. This is what we have so far. I love it. I love this cuff in the rainbow colors, the rainbow kind of like micro striping speckling, and then moving on to corrugated ribbing with that pink, and then the Lucky Charm yarn right there in the background. So that is why my husband is calling it Care Bear Prison, because he says these look like prison bars. But I am loving the way this is turning out. I'm excited to work on these, and I'm actually thinking about trying a different heel than the slip stitch heel. So we will see. And this is the wrong side, and I love the way that looks. I am not normally this is probably the closest thing to stranded color work I will ever get, but watch, later, someday, probably soon, I will eat my words and start a fully stranded project. But those are my Care Bear Prison socks, and then I also am working on a pair of socks for my son's birthday. And a few years ago, Destination Fibers had their Cowboy Take Me Away colorway. This is what it is. Super pretty. And so I decided it was time to just knit some socks with it. Sometimes I feel like I'm really nervous because I'm like, oh, it has to be perfect, and I'm just like, let's just do it. And so this is a mini that I dyed up with my son, and I just thought it would go perfect. And look at how that's knitting up. It's like the perfect sunset. You have all these really dark blues and then purples and oranges. I love it, and I think he's really going to like it as well. He has 80 stitches, 20 rows of 2x2 ribbing, and then he likes 80 rows for his leg. So I'm almost, let's see, I got 10, 20, 30, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Huh. What do you know? I'm almost there. I'm almost to the 10th one. And then I'll be halfway there. So this one has been really fun to do because it's just stockinette. My Care Bear Prison ones have been fun because it gives me a little more to think about and do. And I'm also thinking about casting on another pair, 2 more pairs of the Care Bear Prison socks. And I found these colors in my stash and I just think they're too good to pass up. So this is a colorway I dyed called Switcheroo. And then this is from Lovejoy Fibers. So I was thinking about pairing those two together. And so these would be the pearls and the cuff, and then this would be the prison bars. And that's one pair of socks that I would like to do. But then I also have Hedgehog Fibers in the colorway Crush. And so I thought those would be really good together because it has the yellow and the yellow. So this would be the prison bars. And then I had enough by dividing all three of these colors together that I could hook these two up. And I haven't really decided on this one if this should be the prison bars or if this should. But then again, I may just change my mind and try something a little different, maybe a different design. But for right now, some variation. These two and these two. Those are going to be possibly my next sock cast on. Every time I say this is what I'm going to cast on next, then something else catches my eye. So we will see moving on how that goes. Let's see. Also, my Saturday morning static pillow came out on TKGA's membership, circle membership. So that's out, and if you're a member of TKGA, then go ahead and check that out. The pillow features a no-sew zipper, which is pretty awesome, and I don't know, made it look really good, and it's fun to do. I know I was a little apprehensive when I was designing the pillow how I was going to get a zipper in there, but it worked out great. And I also have a video tutorial here if you have a different project that you want to add a zipper to but you don't want to sew it. Go check out my zipper tutorials, or if you have any questions, leave them in the comments down below. There are a few other things that I have been looking forward to, and one of them is I'm doing a gauge swatch with fingering and mohair. And this mohair I got for free. Expression Fiber Arts had a deal when I went to buy the nougat that you could get a 50-gram skein of this one-of-a-kind color. So I said yes. I've never really used mohair before. This is a first for me, but I have been pairing it with Cascade Heritage. And right now, this time of day with the lighting and everything, it's a little wonky. But this is how it's turning out. And I'm actually really pleased with it, and I am liking it a lot. What I am thinking about turning this into is I'm actually going to try to design a hat. And the brim is going to be this Cascade Heritage held double. And then the body of the hat is going to be the Cascade Heritage and the Expression Fiber Arts mohair held together. And it's not going to be stockinette, but I did want a good representation of how, you know, this would look in stockinette, so I could really see if this was even something I wanted to do. I really like how it's coming along, and that gray just seems to be a really great base to highlight the different colors of the mohair. So hopefully you'll be seeing that in a few weeks. Now, if we want to talk about some other things that I'm hoping to cast on, possibly several sweaters. 3 of them for my husband. 2 of them are not going to be fingering weight, but the one I've already covered that is the raglan. I'm thinking about casting that on, and then I did buy I bought some yarn to knit him 2 sweaters, but they are going to be worsted weight, and I need to dye the yarn. So if you're interested in seeing how that all pans out, go ahead and give me a comment down below, because I will be, like I said, I will be dyeing this yarn, and this is the first time that I will be dyeing a yarn that isn't superwash. A little bit nervous about that, but it'll all be fine. I just need to take my time, make sure everything's cooled down before I touch it, which can sometimes be a problem for me, I'm not gonna lie. But I think that is everything. Any other cast-ons? Oh, this right here, I know you can't see it very well, but that is a gauge swatch that I did for the Mayma cardigan in a teal color. It's really dark on camera, but maybe I'll show you next time if I decide to cast on a Mayma cardigan for my daughter for Christmas. Anything else that I can think of? If there was something I was going to talk to you guys about, it's left my mind completely. But thank you for being patient while I took a break. There were some life things that were going on that were kind of difficult to deal with, but you know what? I think we are smooth sailing upwards, and yeah, I hope you guys are doing well, and if you guys haven't subscribed already, go ahead and hit the subscribe button down below, and we will see you real soon. Bye!